Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing an update on the Titanic, and I've got a lot to show you. Gdeck is done, like completely. We've got roofs now, some nice lanterns, and everything looks pretty cool. On F deck, we have more bathrooms and firemen's quarters. There really isn't much of a difference. Oh yeah, but there's a table right here. Really the only main difference. Heading aft, we have third class cabins galore. Lots of the things. Here's what they look like. Here's what this area looks like. Here's what where are the big cabins? Here we go. Here's what the cabins generally look like. We have more watertight doors. Here's what a red terracotta area looks like with a roof overhead. And that about completes. And then there's one more third class area that's above the boiler rooms. But before we get into all the rooms related to that, we also have these areas right here. We have this area, which leads down to the first class squash court, which sadly, while taller, does not have a roof over it yet. That will come on Gdeck. Then, heading down, we can now see what the mail hold, or looks like, or the sorting room or whatever, looks like with lights overhead. Heading out and up, we have the boiler rooms. We have the fan room, which I designed the fans. I did actually steal this part from my Lusitania, which I hate, but I actually this is like the one part that I found kind of cool. So yeah, I also added a steam engine. Heading down, the boiler rooms look much different now that they have a roof overhead. And the coal bunkers are also looking much different. Although let's make our way over to one. They're also quite difficult to navigate. But yeah, here's what it all looks like. Heading up and aft, we then have some just like linen stuff, like linen drying, dirty linens, and then linen storage. Heading around, we have some more storerooms, some lockers, and then we have one of our first major first class areas. We have another fan room, a storeroom, an extra storeroom I added because I had extra space, and it was just not coming together, so I added an extra storeroom. We have a bathroom. We have the first class pool. Now this is the room that was giving me all that trouble. But we have the changing rooms. We even got the shower rooms. Heading across, we have, and I do like this, I noticed that they had cloths hung up, so I did that. We have the electric baths, which look like this. They're nothing too fancy. It's kind of hard to fit that detail onto this small of a scale, or this bulky of a scale. We have shampooing rooms, and then we have the cooling room. And I believe this was like heating and water tanks. But yeah, this area was a pain to build because it was like nothing quite fit correctly. But I managed to make it work. We then have the Turkish baths, the entrance to that, and then we have the grand staircase, the F deck grand staircase. We have the storeroom under it, and we have crew cabins and storage areas and stuff. Another fan room, and oh yeah, and there are also these rooms, which are completely inaccessible by any other way, but there are a few of them. That's the first one, the second one's over there. There's one for like every compartment, there's one there. Speaking of this next compartment, Oh yeah, also finishing off this compartment, we have more crew rooms, crew bunks, yay. Then we have the third class dining room. This is a pretty familiar sight. Titanic Honor and Glory did a wonderful job recreating this room, and it's kind of burned into my memory, so yeah. We have more third class stuff, rooms in the next compartment over. We have some galleys and pantries and stuff. Some more crew bunks, lockers, an actual galley, like a full one. Another one of the inaccessible rooms, and a coal room, interestingly, which I did not put a door on, apparently. This map is gonna require some major playtesting once I finish it. And then yeah, just more storerooms and stuff like that. There we go. And we have another fan room, and the boiler room 1 area is much different from the rest. We then have the engine room, and we are actually getting up to like the top of the engines. It's really weird. Like, now you can basically traverse up next to that. I am gonna finish the catwalk. I'm only gonna finish the catwalk since we have everything for the engine room in place up to Gdeck and Gdeck. So that way we can see just how big everything is. We have engineers' cabins, bathrooms, stuff like that. Then we have the turbine engine room, which is, again, also just like the main engine room, slowly getting more and more stuff kind of encroaching on the upper areas. And we have second-class cabins, actually, and bathrooms. There's a lot of these. We then have the main famous second-class staircase. We also have this stairwell here, which goes down to the pantries, and then we then have the other main second-class staircase. And here is what second class looks like with a roof overhead. Very nice. Much nicer than third class. And yeah, oh yeah, and there's also what the pantries and stuff look like with the roofs overhead, which is like this. Mostly just shelves and whatnot. Ice cream room. Heading up, we also have cargo hatches. Then we have more second class, and then we have a last bit of third class. And yeah, that about does it. Which, okay, the reason this one took a lot longer than the other two decks than the last couple decks I've been doing, aside from really the tank top. That's because of all of this. Like, there is more interior on this deck than there is on the rest of the ship. And you can kind of tell. Like, okay. Also, I had no idea that it was like boiler rooms 1 and 2. Or 2 and 3 that housed the third class dining room. That's pretty neat. Like, compare this to what we had for the last few decks, and the difference is just kind of astounding. It's like there's so much more here. So anyways, what the rate it took me to produce this deck is probably more of what you can expect, if not a little bit worse, as we put more stuff on top of the engine rooms and the condenser room, on top of the engine rooms and all that stuff. So expect the rate of updates to slow down pretty drastically. However, do be aware I'm going to slave away on this thing until it's done. Like, I am not do not plan on stopping. On top of that, the ship's exterior is looking much nicer. We have a brand new row of portholes. And we have a few more to go before we get up to Gdeck. Actually, really only 2 more to go, because something I added to this map is that Gdeck is slightly taller than than all the other decks. So I am excited to see that implemented. Anyways, this is drawing on a little bit long. I am really excited to just get all of this stuff done. Like, it has just been kind of insane how much I've been slaving away on this one. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.